subscribing to Azure. Obviously, Azure is a platform, is a cloud environment. So we would obviously need a subscription for using Azure services. It's a paid platform. So how much will it cost me if I want to learn Azure? No, actually for learning it would not cost you at all. Basically, Microsoft gives you a facility called as free trial account, wherein for every new account created on Azure, they would give $200 credit, and you can utilize this $200 credit for different resources to be activated in that particular month. Obviously, after that month is completed, you can again create one more Outlook account, and in that again you are going to get another $200 credit. So as long as you want to only learn Azure, there is absolutely no cost involved in terms of Microsoft giving you free trial account. But when you want to really use it for hosting a website, then you will have to go for pay as you go model. Now what is this pay as you go model? Here, when we create our subscription, we are going to attach our credit card details to the platform, so that as we are using the resources, different Azure resources and services, according to their charges, automatically the amount will be debited from the card. Yes, if you are an organization, you can be an approved for invoicing. You can ask for an invoice where they will provide you even the breakup of how the amount was charged for different services. Alternatively, if you have an MSDN subscription, then also you are going to get $100 per month Azure subscription. Remember, this is not going to get accumulated. If this month you have not utilized $100, it does not mean that next month you can carry forward the remaining amount. No. Every month on a particular date, your subscription will be reset, and from that day another $100 you can make use of without any additional cost. There is one more, that is enterprise agreement. What is this? As an enterprise, you can commit to using a certain amount of services in Azure over a period of 1 year, and then you prepay the amount. You pay ahead of using the services, and obviously Microsoft is going to give you certain discount on that. Cost will be little lower when compared to pay as you go model. So yes, commercially you might either go with pay as you go, or rare case somebody might go for even enterprise agreement with Microsoft. But in all cases, whether it is either free or MSDN subscription or pay as you go or enterprise agreement, in all cases you need to have Azure subscription onto the Azure portals. Now what is this Azure portal? These are management portals. The management of Azure is an interface to configure and control Azure services and applications. See, if you want to create a virtual machine, if you want to create a cloud service, or if you want to create an app service, you want to provision an SQL database, or you want to create a virtual network, we need some interface for doing all these things. So for that, Azure provides us two interfaces, basically two portals. One is the classic portal and other is the new portal, which formerly was called as preview portal. So originally, yes, everything started with the classic portal, and eventually it has now become Azure portal, which is more popular nowadays. This classic portal is over a period of time going to get deprecated. Maybe Microsoft would pull out that portal after some time, because all the new features, all the existing features, Microsoft is now providing in the so-called Azure portal, which was formerly called as preview portal. So yes, throughout our course also we are going to refer as two portals. One is classic portal and the other is direct Azure portal. So this is how you can, this is the URL you can use for visiting the Azure portal. manage.windowsazure.com, and you need to log in. I have my personal ID sandeepsoni@deccansoft.com, where I have a subscription being a certified trainer. Microsoft gives me every month $150 credit, so I'm using the same account here. This is classic portal. Likewise, we can go to portal.azure.com, that is the new portal, rather the current portal we can call it. Classic portal has now become the old one, and this is the new portal. The new portal is really very classic, I mean very beautiful, very easy to make use of, and so on. So these are the different types of resources, complete list we can get here, and so on. So classic portal has one type of interface, but the new portal has journeys and blades. Now what is this journey and a blade? Now if I click here, you see this is one blade, and when I click again, another blade will open. This is one more blade. When I click here, one more blade will open. So all these are called as blades. The navigation is called as journey. It's a journey of blades, and on each blade we have got parts. This is one part, this is another part, like that. This is one part, this is one part. These are all, you'll have toolbar sometimes. Each blade has part. So it is a journey of blades, where a blade is going to have parts. That's how the naming convention is. And then you can click on this Azure icon and you will have a dashboard open here. So all the resources which are recently created are automatically going to appear on this Azure dashboard. Good thing is we can always customize this dashboard. You can edit the dashboard, you can move things around. What is important, you place it close to what you want to see. You can even change the look and feel. You have got here settings through which you can change the color scheme. So yes, what is that we have here? The new portal contains the following user interface elements. It can contain dashboard, it can contain blades, it can contain hub menu. Now what is this hub menu? It's a navigation bar on the left hand side, in which we are going to have different services links. We can from there navigate to different services. So that's what is the hub menu. Let us see this in the portal here. This is called as hub. So here you have got all different options for different services. When we click on any one of them, the corresponding service page will open. Basically blade will open, and here we'll have the toolbar options for performing further actions, and so on. You have browse button here, through which we can see all the services which are provided by Azure. Whichever we are going to use more often, those things we can bookmark here, mark it as favorite here. The moment you mark it as favorite, it is going to get listed in this always visible screen. Then we'll have new, in case we want to create a new service. Now from the marketplace we can choose what we want to do. Microsoft Marketplace for Azure. These are all things which I have recently used it. We have got here notifications. Anything which we do is going to happen asynchronously in Azure. So once the task is completed, it will be notified to us through this notification panel. Then we have got settings, through which we can change the theme. I would want you to try in case you are interested. You can give feedback to Microsoft. You can get some help, support. And if your account is there, you can even go to view my bill. Clicking on view my bill will take you to account.microsoft windowsazure.com/subscription. So right now you see I have Windows Visual Studio Enterprise subscription which is active on my account. If I want to add subscription, I can click here. I press Ctrl and click so that it opens in the new tab. It will automatically sign me up and it will give us now the list of all different types of subscriptions which we can add to the account. This is what I have right now is Microsoft Studio Enterprise, Visual Studio Enterprise, which I get as a part of my certified trainer profile, and I get $150 per month subscription free. In addition to that, I can activate pay as you go, or as I said before, 12 months enterprise prepaid subscription. You can also have something called as pay as you go development and test environment. Here the virtual machines will cost us little cheaper when compared to the other one, but this account we are only supposed to use for testing the application, not for production. You can buy developer support, 6 months subscription for developer support, bug fixes and all that, professional direct support, standard support, and Azure in open market. Basically you can purchase Azure from Microsoft open volume, from a Microsoft partner who would give Microsoft open volume license. So yes, here you can see pricing. You have a price calculator. You can decide I want to use app service. Click on that. View estimate. And you can decide now what all services you want to make use of. Virtual machine, pricing tier, basic or standard, and it will give you approximate cost as you keep adding features. Basically this is just an estimation. It is not the real-time billing. Go back. You can as well manage Azure using PowerShell. Windows PowerShell can be used. Azure command line interface can be used for managing Azure. These are all commands which we can execute at the command prompt. Generally, administrators prefer Windows PowerShell or Azure CLI. Visual Studio also provide a lot of tools for managing Azure resources, and even creating and publishing can be done through Visual Studio itself. So excellent support we have in Visual Studio for managing Azure related resources. Managing account subscription portal, yes, this is where I have already navigated to. You can change payment method, download usage details, contact manager, Microsoft support, subscription details can be, all these things you can do there. And even if you want, you can actually create co-administrators. But unfortunately, the new portal does not have the facility to create co-administrator. See, with whatever account you create, Azure portal, that becomes by default the administrator account. But you may not be alone managing the Azure. So in case you want, you can actually go here and add new accounts to the portal. So basically the procedure is go to classic portal and you have to expand subscriptions on top right and manage administrator. So here expand this and you should have not here, but you should actually find one. When you are logging in, you might find probably, generally that is needed when you are having pay as you go model. So right now we don't see that feature, that option of manage administrator, maybe because I'm using the free account. Now something very, very important, the Azure portal, especially the new portal what we are working with now, provides everything as a part of a resource group. So a resource group is a container that is going to hold all the related resource, which can be comprising of maybe virtual machines, storage accounts, SQL database, virtual networks, IP addresses, DNS servers, and so many other things. Rather, everything which we create has to fall under one or the other resource group. Resource group could include all features of an application or those resources that are logically grouped together. Let me practically show you how to create a resource group and how the resources are part of the resource group. So first we have the option here called as resource group. Go there. And then see, these are some resource groups which I have earlier created. But now I create one more resource group. Demo session resource group. You have to select your subscription. Because of my type of subscription, I am getting here Visual Studio Enterprise. But generally you would otherwise get something like pay as you go or free trial. And then going forward, we have got resource group location. Now these are different regions. These are different regions. Which data center do you want to choose for this resource group? So that all the resources by default in this resource group will use that data center. So let's say central US, anything can be done. Now if you click on create, you see resource group creation instruction has been sent in background, and now in notification it is created. It has shown us creating resource group. Once it is created here, it is now going to be visible on refresh. The new resource group is created. Click on this. Right now this resource group is empty. There are no resources to display. But then if you want, you can actually add resources. For example, I may want to add SQL database, rather SQL server. When I add SQL server, see here, there is an option to add this resource, that is SQL server, either into a new resource group or an existing one. You can click on choose use existing, expand this and choose the resource group, and so on. So like that, every resource which we create from this portal will belong to a resource group. Now what is the advantage of resource group? Yes, obviously all the resources are together. Logically they are together. Physically they can be in different data centers also. And one of the advantages, after every session, I generally want to destroy all these resources so that I am not billed for them. I use them for demo. Once my demo is completed or my testing is completed, I may want to delete it. So I just go to the resource group, choose the resource group, go to that and click on the option delete and provide the name of the resource group as a confirmation to delete. Once you provide correct name, delete button is enabled. Click on it and in background it will delete the resource group. Obviously all the resources in that resource group also will get deleted and you cannot undo this action. So be careful. So what could happen is, probably you can create one resource group for development, one resource group for production, one resource group for testing, staging, like that. Different resource groups you might create, use them and destroy them once they are done, once you are done with them. So whenever you try to delete, Microsoft takes your feedback. If you want, you can give, if not, just close it. It's optional. There are certain important factors to consider when defining a resource group. All resources in your group must have same life cycle. You will deploy, update and delete them together. Generally you have to practice this. What we will see towards the end of the course also is, a resource group can be saved as a template, so that if you want to tomorrow redo everything what was done in the resource group, you have to simply make use of the template files, run them, and that recreates all the resources as it is. So yes, one such resource such as database server needs to exist on different deployment cycle. It should be in another resource group. In short, create multiple resource groups and bifurcate your resources into them. Each resource can exist only in one resource group. You cannot have one resource in resource group A as well as resource group B. You can add or remove a resource to a resource group at any point of time. There is no restriction. You can move a resource from one resource group to another group. Yes, it is possible. Today you created one resource in group A, but for some reason you want to decide and shift to group B. You can pretty much do that. Resource group can contain resources that reside in different regions. As I told you, it is only logical collection. Not necessary all the resources should be residing in the same region, same data center. No, they can be in different regions, different data centers. And finally, a resource group can be used to scope access control for the administration actions. Basically, it means that you can give permissions on a resource group to different users, and those users can manage the resources which are there in that resource group. Administrative permissions also you can give. And finally, before you actually start your practical sessions on Azure by developing different applications and hosting them into Azure, you have to also ensure that you install Azure SDK. So to set up the environment, first you should have the proper operating system. Can be Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 2000, whatever machine, doesn't really matter. We just need to have the latest version of the browser. That is important. Because you are going to develop applications, you need to have Visual Studio with the latest version of IIS, Express or Complete Edition. Remember, Windows 7 Home Basic is not supporting IIS, so that would not be sufficient. In case you want to have IIS 7 on Windows 7 operating system, the Professional Edition, just follow these steps and enable IIS on that machine. When you have Visual Studio, you have to go to New Project. You will find Cloud on the left hand side. When you select that, you will see on the right hand side Get Microsoft Azure SDK for .NET. Click on that option. Automatically it will go to Downloads, and from there all the required tools and SDK for Windows will be downloaded and installed on your machine. Thereafter, when you come here next time, you will directly see the ready-made templates of Visual Studio. So with this, yes, we conclude a complete overview of Windows Azure, rather Microsoft Azure. So we understood what is Azure. Basically an operating system for Microsoft data center. Why Azure? Because it has lots of beautiful features which we want to make use of in day-to-day development, reducing our overheads and passing on these to Microsoft. What is that Azure provides us? Beautiful large data centers where our applications can be distributed, various services which are useful for application development. Just certain facts about Azure: spread across 140 countries, having 22 plus 5 regions already there, available in 10 and more languages, supporting 24 currency formats. Huge amount of investment Microsoft has done. Benefits of Azure: yes, it's a platform, so all the benefits what we have for the platform, we have it for Azure. 3 hosting models: virtual machines, app services, cloud services. When to use virtual machine, cloud service and app service, we have discussed in detail. When you use virtual machine, you get complete control but less agility, whereas in app services, basically web apps, we get more agility and less control, and cloud services come in between. There are different other services, database services, networking services, application services. We have seen now how to subscribe, what are the different portals, how to perform basic operations in the portal. Obviously this session is only the base. From next session onwards, we will extensively make use of the portals, sometimes the classic portal, sometimes the new portal, and eventually you should have a Windows 7 or Windows 10 machine with proper browser. And if you want to do development, you will need Visual Studio, the latest version, and also you need to upgrade your Visual Studio with Azure SDK. That's all in this. Thank you.